Hi, come paint a gouache painting with me. My name is Kate Jarvik Birch and I'm a gouache artist. It's my absolute favorite medium. And today we're going to be working on a painting of a fork and spoon. Really fun because the metallic objects just have so much color in them and form, and we're going to do a little bit of dry brushing at the end, which is also really fun. Whenever I start a painting, I always begin with an underdrawing. And the reason I do this is because I want to have a really good sense of the placement of everything. I want to know where all my shapes are and where the colors are going to be going. And the reason I like to give myself a really good beginning drawing is because I don't want to have to mess around too much with my color. The brush I'm starting off with today is a number 6 filbert, and I love these filberts by Princeton. They're just like the perfect size, and the paint just flows on super smooth. It holds a great amount of paint. And you're going to see as you begin putting your first layer of paint down how smooth it flows on this hot press paper. It's just so creamy and so delightful. Moving on to the shadows, I'm going to go down to a number 4 filbert. Something interesting that you're going to notice when you're doing your shadows is that they won't stay all the same color. Inside these shadows, I found that there were lighter patches that had more of the turquoise of the background showing through. And of course, it's impossible to paint without getting a little bit messy. Something I recommend when doing your own realistic still life is to choose a subject with a really strong grounding shadow. Next up, I'm going to start with the darkest darks. And this isn't something I always do, but with this fork and the spoon and the metal, I really do like to work from dark to light because I feel like it's going to give us a best sense of shape for this object. You'll notice that these dark shadows really do give the fork and the spoon some dimension. And because some of these shapes are rather thin, I find it a lot easier to move my paper around so that I have the best angle to draw those really nice thin straight lines. Once all my darkest darks were in, I move on and start adding some more color to this. So you'll take a look at the reference photo and notice that there's some kind of bright turquoisey greens within the shape of both the spoon and the fork. And that's actually just the reflection of my cell phone. But this is one of the fun things about painting metal is that you'll notice that some of the background colors really do end up showing up inside that metal object. As you continue to progress with these medium value colors, I do want you to think about pushing yourself to really think about adding some color to it. Using gray just in the metal is going to end up being a little bit boring, but if you can add some blues and some greens to it, it's just going to be a bit more vibrant. As you continue to paint, you'll notice because the spoon is concave, the shapes that you're painting are going to mimic the shape of the spoon. In these sections, you really want to try to think about having your paint strokes also follow the shape, the contour that that spoon is making. Moving on, I'm going to be using a number 2 round. This is great because I can get some finer details in. And here I'm going to use these lighter oranges, which are the flesh tone that you'll see reflected from my hand. And then I get to go in and just try to find the minor details of the little darks that I can bring out to really make things crisp before I head in with the fun part, which is the highlights. Whenever you're adding your final white touches, you want to make sure that the paint is pretty thick. You don't want it to be too runny. And that's because you really want the whites to stand out and pop against the dark colors that you're putting them on top of. Congratulations on your fork and spoon.